I'm the Fairy Voice Mother, and today I'm going to be reacting to a special request. One of the prizes in the 100k giveaway livestream party that we had was to win a guaranteed reaction request. The winner of that request was one Rogério Romão, who is perhaps Brazilian. If you are indeed Brazilian, Rogério, eu gostaria de dizer muito obrigada e parabéns. E então, porra.
Vamos lá.
I should probably stop trying to speak Portuguese now, just in case you're not Brazilian. I'm just making a fool out of myself, like I never usually do on this channel. It's a very serious production. I feel like, you know, when you go for a walk in the park and you see like a glove on the floor that's got all frost on it because someone dropped it like yesterday and it got really cold overnight, and you just see this like frosty glove where all the fingers are like erect because of the ice. Like, I feel like that glove. It's that bad. Hopefully this will warm me up. Let's see. Oh, my hip. Jesus. It's too cold outside. Feel like a glove. A stiff glove. Put my wee blankie back on. Wow. So much going on here already, even just using thin vocal folds. Ooh. Notice the quality of the sound is the same in terms of its ooh. We haven't got any like ooh, any other kind of vibratory patterns, but he's doing some fascinating things to achieve this rather eccentric.
Is an unusual or odd behaviour on the part of an individual. This behaviour would typically be perceived as unusual or unnecessary, without being demonstrably maladaptive. Do you want me to keep reading?
No thank you, Siri. Quite eccentric movements. We've got quite a high larynx position, which is enabling that kind of wolfy howl sound, combined with a slight push of breath pressure to tilt that note upwards. And when he wants to bring the notes down in this little melisma, he's retracting the tongue and keeping the larynx a little bit lower. Can you hear that the tongue's there? Notice it gives the impression that the vowel is wider as well. Kind of like what a ventriloquist would want to do if they want to change vowel without moving their mouth. We already know that he can manipulate his tongue and larynx really effectively to control his voice, so therefore it's someone that knows how this instrument works.
Sleep now under my skin, mate. Show you try to conjure the wind and ease my mind.
Oh, those two guys are just sitting there staring at him. You would never have guessed that because he's so in his own world doing this. Wow. I don't know why that surprised me so much. Oh, okay. Sorry, by that I meant three guys. Now he's using the same creative playing around with resonances, but he's also adding another mode to his voice. We would sometimes call this mode 1 or chest voice or thick folds, where you're getting that resonance from his speaking voice. More and more sounds being added into the little mixing bowl of soundy goodness.
Somebody call out to your brother. He's calling out your name. Oh, hiding under the covers with no one else to blame. Oh, you couldn't help out your own neighbor. You couldn't tell it to his face. You were fucked up by the blame. You cower in the corner, confide in your father. Let it outside. Let it pass away.
when he does the howly thing at the beginning, you can hear that his larynx is tilted and the vocal quality is quite rich and connected. Ooh, closer to something a little bit more classical in terms of placement. But then he can also achieve a different flavour of thin sound. Let it pass away. It's the same kind of thin mode whether you put it back there or here. It's the same kind of setup but channeled completely differently into two different parts of the throat. And you can see how he physically aids that process with his body. When he's pulling the voice back in the throat, you can see how his face kind of puts it there. It looks like he's trying to like suppress a burp or something. And then when he wants to physically push the voice forward, he's got nice little pouty lips helping the larynx fall into place at the front.
Sleep now under my skin. Show you trying to conjure the wind and ease my mind.
You might have heard the Italian terms staccato and legato to describe music, and that would be a really good way to describe how he's phrasing this section. Sleep now under my skin, show you try to conjure the wind, ease my mind. I love how he physically pulls back to lift up to that extra high note. It's a really clever idea because he still wants to maintain this forward position with the larynx for this ooh. But just that teeny weeny pull back can definitely facilitate that extra little bit of stretch that the vocal folds need to do. It's so effective to synchronize body movements with vocal fold movements. When we need to increase the pitch and sing a higher note, our vocal folds stretch this way. So that act of woo, leaning back will probably encourage the vocal folds to stretch with better technique as opposed to what is sometimes more tempting for singers to do when the note goes up. They feel like they should rise with the note. But if you think about the vocal folds needing to go that way, to stretch literally up is just it's not really gonna help. Because it's not the way that they want to go. Oh yeah, this is a key factor of our knowledge in knowing, wait, what? We can see the tongue fluttering under the weight of the vibrato. Now this wouldn't happen if the larynx wasn't moving properly, and it also wouldn't happen if the tongue was tense. If you don't see the tongue move in a singer, it doesn't mean that it's like, you must be tense. Just if you do happen to notice it, it's generally a good thing.
Somebody call out to your brother, he's calling out your name. Oh, hiding under the covers with no one else to blame. Oh, you couldn't help out your own neighbor, you couldn't tell it to his face. You were fucked up by the blade.
He's bouncing. He loves it. He's bouncing away over there. Bless him. Hiding under the covers. We're getting a little bit more of the wolf. Like in all the movies where a person can turn into a werewolf, but like just before midnight they'll get like slightly bigger sideburns and a little bit of a howl will come out. I feel like that's where we are.
Cower in the corner, confide in your father. Let it out and say, you cower in the corner, confide in your father. Let it pass away. Let it break you down.
Oh my gosh. How exciting.
Wait there, pull yourself out of this state, dear. Acknowledge that you are
Nice.
here. From there on, you might just grow. Oh.
little shot.
Somebody call unto your brother, he's calling out your name.
This line is just beautiful.
Somebody call unto your brother, he's calling out your name.
Oh, somebody call out to you. The way that he's reflecting resonance there with such a wide pharynx. Oh, it's got so much room to resonate, and the sound is full of beautiful overtones.
Somebody call unto your brother.
And then we're using the lips to turn the word brother into brother. To your brother. It's just so unique. He's calling out your name. Then we've got that little howly element, but wrapped in such a tiny little parcel.
He's calling out your name.
This growl is ever evolving into the werewolf he truly is. He's using the same tissue that you would usually use to clear your throat.
Cower in the corner, confide in your father, let it.
And so he's gone from using that to introduce his phrases,
Hiding under that you couldn't help out your own name.
growling into them,
Somebody called out to you.
to now keeping this growl motion, these false vocal folds connecting at the same time that his true vocal folds are connecting as well. So we have this kind of double sound effect.
Confide in your.
You might recognize this kind of timbre from like throat singing, because that is the foundation for a lot of different styles of throat singing. It's not generally the type of distortion that coaches who coach extreme vocal use would go for. But the golden rule is always, if it sounds good and it feels good, it's good. And it definitely sounds good. Again, this style gets a really bad rap, like, oh, this is just Cookie Monster. You sound like...
C is for cookie, that's good enough for me.
And sometimes, you know, it can sound kind of lame. But the way that he's doing it does sound really good, so...
Hiding under the covers with no one else to blame. You couldn't help out your own
Oh, I
name.
know it's gonna build!
You couldn't
I
tell it
feel
to
it.
his face. You were fucked up by the blame. Oh, somebody call out to your brother. He's calling out your name. Oh, hiding under the covers with no one else to blame. Oh, you couldn't have out your own name. You couldn't tell it to his face. You were fucked up by the blame.
Oh!
Somebody call out to your brother. He's calling out your name. Whoa. Hiding under the covers with no one else to blame. Whoa. Oh. You couldn't help out your own neighbor. You couldn't tell it to his face. You were fucked up by the blame.
And that's it. There's just so much energy, even the bloody lens couldn't focus.
No one else to blame.
Oh, so cool. I've never heard false fold and true vocal folds together in this kind of context, like the singer-songwritery realm, sound this cool before, like ever in my whole life. You can hear at times when he's holding these big belchy notes, his true vocal folds stay connected to make that nice clean sound, and then sometimes those false vocal folds cut in and out when the breath pressure is changing a little bit. It's really difficult to keep the false folds activating as you increase breath pressure on those higher, stronger notes.
Oh,
Starting off with that growly belt, and then like a yodel down. Oh! To thick folds where he finishes off that riff. That's a really nice composition of different vocal techniques, and the different notes that he's using are really complementing those different vocal techniques.
hiding under the covers.
It looks like he's laughing after that because it was just such terrific fun. Having another covers! So good. So we had the ultimate werewolf full reveal at the very end. The whole time we were getting little extra clues, a little bit of growling, a little bit more growling, a lot more growling, and then the growl at the last moment fully took over and the true vocal folds had to just...
You're gonna tell it to his face.
You see how the note literally cuts out there? Now, I mean, that could have been an accident. He could have been going super hard and he actually meant to sustain that note, but I don't think he's the kind of vocalist that would have many accidents because we know that he has such autonomy over all of these different parts. He knows where to put his larynx, he knows where to put his tongue, he knows how to reflect resonance, how to switch registers, he knows how to arrange all of his vocal toolbox to suit certain notes. Like, he just knows what he's doing. It was a very warmly welcomed last hurrah. Yeah, I thought that was absolutely amazing. Really genuinely grateful to have been introduced to this mesmerizing vocalist and artist and wolfman. Obrigadíssimo, Rogério. Still assuming you're Brazilian. It's just so nice to see someone truly in their element. It's just so refreshing to listen to someone that just sounds like them. Even this slightly unconventional extreme vocal use, I think that's just so brilliant that he's found something that feels really good in his body. He's just truly enjoying it, and I just love that so much. Because when you do arrive at a place of peace with your vocal arsenal, opens up so much space for expression. The way that he very accurately pronounces the words when they're soft and he does all the little T's and it's all... And then soon after, he just literally roars into something. It's just beautiful to witness. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I enjoyed making it, because I truly, truly did. Please let me know down below in the comments, or indeed over on my Discord, which can be accessed via Patreon. Our Discord is also just like the nicest place ever with the nicest people. You can ask me questions over there at any time and I'll always respond with either like a message or a little video. We even share pictures of our pets. So I hope you have a wonderful day. I love you so much and I cannot wait to see you again in the next video. Bye.